Welcome to a new video, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are going to see another story about Petra and get away slightly from the megaliths range of YouTube and interest ourselves into a possibility that is becoming to me more accurate. You see wood, and this is Petra. So we are going to see the layer cake of civilization, which is Petra, from the titans of the first cuts into the rocks to the horrites mentioned in the Old Testament, who were reduced in size already from the titans. So you have one cycle here, and after the Edomites and the Phoenicians, and after another cycle. So it's really a layer cake of civilization, as you can see here. So I wanted to share you my picture, of course. It's always my pictures. Not always. Today I'm going to show you more examples. So if this was built by Titans, the first cutters, and a lot is underneath Petra, so you imagine the sheer scale of it. So you can speculate on how it was bricks of wood of an ancient tree stumps or carved tree stumps, but here the columns really seems like it was built like columns of wood with windows and everything that were smashed by these cataclysmic events with plasma discharge. The ridiculous guys who ride up donkeys. The ridiculous narrative of Nabateans who made it all from scratch. You have here what could be the Phoenicians and the Nabateans would have cut some petrified wood, so it will be limestone, and will cut them and make those new temple. So you can already see it's not the same that what you've seen on the temples on the mountain, since it's not a mountain but was a big trees formation. So to fit my narrative, I'm going to show you some slides of what I'm talking about, of course. Maybe to give you a good impression, you can see Australia. They have a national park that looks very much like Petra. So yeah. You can see here the calcification and the petrification is very similar to Petra. At the instar of Petra, this is maybe not a city like was Petra, but is a good example to show you this petrified tree complex. So we have beautiful pictures from above. Huge pits like Petra. When the cataclysmic events and the discharge hits the place, the pieces, the trees, and petrified the whole place. You can see here in the huge ancient tree stumps, there can be mud covered roots actually of the trees that it's covered by mud and petrified the whole thing, but you can see the trees and the roots. Amazing. Really cool. I don't know if this is structure could be habitated, but it's very covered by petrification, so it's hard to see. So you see the roofs covered by mud. So this is the geologists have to talk about this new idea because it's very much plausible. It took me a while to get away from the Brian Foster range of YouTube, the megaliths, everything. I made a lot of video in the past, but I can change my mind, you know, that's what research is about. So yeah, you can see there used to be trees here, huge cave formed by the cataclysmic events. And we have a very cool place, very similar to Petra. Difference is the city here is not the same, maybe was not the same, was not a city. So you can see the roots covered by mud. That's the site I wanted to show you. The roots. Wow, nice colors. So yeah. Now I speculate about Petra in the past, the Titans' time. Maybe it was big trees, habitated, like with columns and stuff. Would have been very impressive. Of course I didn't find the illustration to show you this. So talking about the Titans, in the Old Testament there were giants in the earth in those days, not on the earth. And also after that, when the Son of God came into the daughters of men and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. This explains the black sun being engineering us, mistaking for the Anunnakis. Nibiru mistaking from the black sun in our earth. That's what I discovered recently. Was another red pill to swallow. And so I can show you antediluvian petrified buildings, and this is perhaps a Titan petrified. You have to see the larger picture here, and this construction, the Sphinx here also petrified, was to be stump, also petrified tools, petrified mud of what is to be huge beings' hands, proof of giants in the past. Here again. And this is the thing I want to explain to people about Petra, that in fact the place you see in Petra will be this, and down you have an all new complex, like it will be very much bigger than it is today. We can speculate on how big, but you have some imagery from the satellites, so-called satellites, showing big complex uncovered in the under the sand in Petra. So here you have, this is built. This is was not hard rock. It was columns of different materials, everything mud, and after it's been petrified. And that's the thing the megalith section of YouTube will have to explain now and to put in their videos also. So this is the tool marks to shape those passage. And here you have also petrification of what was other material before. We changed the narrative on all the megalith section of YouTube. Seriously, it changed a lot. So here you have construction also. Here construction like salt mine. Here Sphinx. That's actually amazing, you know. The pillars are here. The Sphinx is there. It's just petrified. Another one. Another one in the mines and stuff. This looks like an old tool that has been petrified. Once again, this petrified city in America, my friends. I wonder what did it become. It's a whole photo. So in America, and another one. So that's the Sphinx, the niches, the pillars here, the steps here, the steps. So the petrified cities works pretty well to that point. Crimea, like you've seen, Pakistan, it was in Pakistan, the one I was talking about. Russia, you have one. Argentina, Egypt, New Zealand, huge one, looks like Scotland one. Croatia, Romania, so yeah, that's the real old world order. Another cool one here. Here some speculation of the internet I found interesting. So yeah, this was not built, in fact, was just petrified. And there's a good example, in my humble opinion. Petrified wood, petrified city. Another things. Built cave that's been petrified. Petrified material built, and here you have, seems to be on the coast of Scotland, a sphinx or something. Very, very interesting. Those tunnels could have been the roots of the ancient trees, and it's all petrified. This was built by mud and everything is still impressive and turned to stone. This also was formation, buildings that has been petrified. The one of a good specimen here of petrified. The petrified temples of India. That was another material back then. And here you see Petra, the wood grain. So carved at this point, this is the Titan's work, carved out of the tree stump. And here you can see the Phoenicians added some details. It's just modification really. The temple was already there. You can see a lot is underneath, like I explained. It's built. This is the Titan's work, and this is the later on Phoenicians, Nabateans work with blocks of petrified wood. And this is the original building that has been petrified. Now it seems clear and you can see it was really for titans. This, you know, like this, the sheer scale of it and what is underneath is just amazing. So the treasury been modified by the Phoenicians, but this one not. So that's a good clue of the layer of cilvization I was talking about. So now I'll show you this. We can see in Saudi Arabia they have those built. You can see the blocks of trees, and then after the Nabateans or Phoenicians added some modification on it, and after a mud flood came and swallowed the bottom part of it and left this petrification. That will explain it. So yeah, they will be much bigger. In fact, you see, it's not logical, but you've seen it in Petra. So yeah, this is mud that has been covering the entrance. Okay, guys, so I think I show you this. So let's go to the tree stumps I found in Jordania. Taking picture. Who cut them? With lasers? Look at that. So yeah, ancient tree stumps to me, cut in the distant past, but not as distant as the geologist will say to you. Another one here. Pyramids I found. So construction, petrified pyramids again. So there's a lot. Tree stump cut. Again here, strange. And now we are going to see the possible titans I saw petrified into the rock, the ancient tree stump, of course, that became rock. So you can see here petrification. What was there? Is it the imagination of man, or it was really something? I wonder. Looked like she was praying. There is a little picture on the internet of petrified giants praying. This was the house of Lawrence of Arabia on your right here. It shows this place as is liberated Jordan. Look at that, looks like petrified figure. And here petrified titan, perhaps. Look at the skull here. I can't have a better picture. It looks like, I don't know, or construction, or petrified with the wood. I don't know. Looks very odd. And this is in Little Petra. You can see here, you can have imagination, like if they were caught into the petrification somehow. You can see the ancient cuts. Here one figure. One figure looks like a skull. One here. This was in Little Petra. King Kong. I made a video on Little Petra, you can see it on my YouTube channel. So yeah, you have this one, which is pretty amazing one. Looks really like it was cut into the petrification also. And we have no records of titans and nothing like that. And their connection to inner earth. So I think I can escape to the wood grain section. Now I showed you a lot. So we have this monastery and what seems to be wood grain, really, if you know what I mean. And this is coming to Petra, some cataclysmic plasma discharge causing this volcano-like lava. It was cool to witness that. And we have here a comparison of those that you can find if you research this. So now I see the world in an all different shape. So if this was also carved wood, and with time became stone, limestone being ancient wood. So who would cut those ancient trees with laser cuts like this? Was it the discharge, or was it cut by beings? So we have beautiful Wadi Rum in the winter. Look at the snow and everything's delight. This is me in Wadi Rum with the ancient tree stump behind me. You can see here the wood grain being petrified, and here also you can see the wood grain very especially nicely done, carved into the ancient tree stump. If they use aether, this will be a good spot, but it's only speculation. So this is a Google research on wood grain, and you can see it's very similar to Petra, because this is my pictures, and I must say it's very similar to wood. So when the Titans made those blocks of wood or carved them, the ancient tree stump, you can still see the wood grain everywhere. This is me. And this is a comparison I made. The one who spooked me the most was in Wadi Rum, this one. And this is me with this, and this is the inside of it. Once again, here you can see this tree, the wood grain, and this is me being clueless about knowing Petra being an ancient tree. So I make a new video to change my narrative about it. How beautiful is it in the winter? Come on, guys. So this is a petrified tree that is becoming opal crystal, and I think it's remarkably interesting to wonder about crystals now, with petrification explaining geology. Yeah, just amazing. Small trees like this being petrified to this point. I think it's in the US. This to opal. Wow. Yeah. Oak and tree can turn into that petrification. So once again, this wood grain, and yeah, this is the comparison I make with you today to break a bit the megalith narrative that seems to be gatekeepers, because I never learned about this stuff only by myself. Didn't watch really. I mean, there is cool YouTube channel you can find, but not with the most famous one. You need to look a bit deeper. So we can now remain on my photos and finish the video in style. So this is the little blocks that was already petrified wood and limestone put there by Nabateans and Phoenicians. So doing with my files. Okay guys. We are going to see Phoenicians Antiquitech at this point of my video. So we were there. This is where we were. So enjoy these Nabateans, and with the help of the Phoenicians. So I wonder if they were part of the Empire of Phoenicia, and after was struck by another cataclysmic event that mud flooded the place again. So here you can see the work of the Phoenicians with limestone blocks, and this is the petrified city of the Titans. You could imagine how it was originally. And here you can see, thanks to my friend Alan Anderson, he spotted possible antiquity of the Phoenicians because they used mercury here. So this is perhaps a jar to carry just that. Look at this picture of those jars containing from the Phoenician Empire that lasted for a very long time. Those jars of mercury for aether consumption. Some say they even was like being fed by this energy. Very interesting. So yeah, this Phoenician Nabatean temple with antiquity here the jar just before the first arch on the third column, as you can see. Could be just an idea of my friend. So here you see the wood grain, huh? Pretty much. Wood grain everywhere now. Realize. So the petrified builds, you can see the blocks of ancient tree stumps. You can start to imagine how it was. I kinda make this video to share with you guys. So if there was built, the blocks here of wood would have been inlaid by some type of other substance that turned into this color because it's quite regular, the golden inlay. So it's a all new, brand new video, guys. You won't see this on any, I mean, not on every YouTube channel you already seen. You need to watch. I will give in the description good YouTuber that do more interesting work. So those limestone that were already petrified wood and the tool marks on the Phoenicians cutting them, and the colors that the Phoenicians and the Nabateans put already there even after cataclysmic event. That's amazing. Or maybe it was repainted after, I presume. Yeah, Collins, a gecko. This looks like wood, and perhaps was just a part that's been petrified, and this was limestone blocks. Phoenician architecture. You can see that Petra is so huge. You know, this is not where the tourist goes. Some huge cistern. This is marble, rather interesting, from Phoenician times. You can see they carved the treasury with this shape. You can see the moon. So they really made this. This is different from what we saw before. This is Phoenicians' columns, because they were great builders also. I think the temples that you've seen before were a matter of taste. They wanted to take the same limestone to fit in the landscape. But those columns are marble. They were carrying it to Petra, which is pretty impressive. The Byzantine also came there. Great marble, very good quality. This is the Rosicrucians, Byzantine, and this is the Nabateans, Phoenicians. You have a Byzantine church you just seen here, and don't get it confused, on some stuff from the Phoenicians, but they came there to make a new church, you see, with the marble and everything. So yeah, I don't know if this column is from the Byzantine or from the Phoenicians. I wonder, you know. I don't want to make a bold statement here, but this could be Byzantine. That's why it's different from this. This is the Phoenicians and the Nabateans, and this is from the Byzantine. Just to be meticulous here. And this is the Phoenician temple, but very different to those stuff, you know. Petrified, petrified into the mount, the ancient tree stump. So yeah, wood grain here. You can see it was maybe carved out of the tree stump or built here. I don't see it, so petrified. Now you can really see in my videos, it's very good quality. I made those pictures, but here it seemed built like the Titans built this for them. Not the Phoenician work here, my friends. Let's be very meticulous about this. Petra is a layer of cilvization. Perhaps some details were added, but I don't think. You see how this is all petrified and broken by the plasma discharge. This is not altered by the Phoenician, I don't think so. It looks too destroyed, too untouched. That's amazing proof of, you know, like huge columns of wood. Huge columns of wood I see here. That could have been like windows and everything, very fine, and been smashed. And this was the damages he has done, almost broken into pieces. The discharges. You can see the Phoenicians really inspired from the old people, because it's the same architecture. But this is way much more older than the treasury. So Phoenician art was really inspired from what we called Atlantean architecture. You can see here the damages he has done. It's just crazy. And you can see it was built here. One block of wood, one block of wood, one pillar, and after was petrified. And here was even broken here. But very, very nice. the wood grain, and also could be in other materials. You can see how they worked the wood here and afterwards petrified. Very broken into pieces. You can see how it's built from the inlay here. Columns of wood turned into this quartzite sandstone. Being real hard, from a hardness of 7 to 10, 10 being diamonds. So the narrative of the Nabatean would have carved it from sandstone doesn't even add up. It was carved from wood, ancient tree stump, here you can see. And it was built with the remnants of those ancient tree stump, sometimes carved out of the tree stump. So here you can see the wood grain. You can agree or disagree with this theory. You have to say this is good stuff, good photos of Hugo some guy. Wood grain here you can see was really petrified. Amazing. You can see the water canalization here was built by ancient titans whom acknowledge water system, because of course it was not a desert if it was used to be ancient trees there. So you can see all the Phoenicians architecture really comes from those titans, those first civilization that we are now record of. Nothing new under the sun. You can see the column here. Amazing stuff from antediluvian times. It's amazing. I could stay from in front of this from hours. So perhaps some sarcophages from from civilizations such as the Orim, who just was living there, you know. But the first cuts, the first temple is really from the Titans. Look how big it is. So huge. So huge, guys. And you can see how it was carved and built out of ancient tree. Ancient tree. It's quite logical now for all of you to witness. Those golden inlay proof maybe it was built and sealed with ancient materials. Layers of trees and other materials. Definitely was underwater, look at that. And was petrified. He all created these weird shapes over the times. So yeah, Amazing. Look at the big colonization here and how it was built before it was petrified. Look how big the doors are and the columns. Not for this guy, which is very small compared to our ancients from previous resets. So here you have the old colonization here. Very, very cool. Whoa, can you imagine how it was hit by even something here to create this smash? This is inside. The ancient tool marks to carve the wood. And you can see here other shapes. Beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful. Ancient wood turning into stone. So you can see here the blocks it's built. It's built then petrified. And you don't learn that a lot. You see? Crazy. Very good example here. So you can speculate on what the material and the wood was. The first time I saw a shark here with a tongue and everything. It's just my imagination, of course it's not. But yeah, very beautiful stuff to witness, in fact. And perhaps other material that seem to sweat here. Petrification does that beautiful color. You can see here I become almost crystalline, crystals, the wood. So yeah, it's quite amazing, guys. I think the quality of my camera give good measures. And here blackening, sweating, maybe other material. Wow, amazingly cool. My friend, El Donkey, El Hmar. You can see here the tool marks to carve the wood like he was with ease. Now you know why. No ancient high technology like Brian Foster say, and it was for me a long time to realize this. Those tool marks are carved into the wood like this because it was easy for them to carve it for the Titans. I mean the Titans, the per civilization. We don't really know for sure. We can only speculate. The poor guy, imagine they living there alone. At least he doesn't have to run crazy for tourists. So this part is really petrified at this point. And you can see the old canalization here. And it was all built by wood pieces. The ancient builders, the first civilization, carved those stuff. It was all wood when you think about it, but it was different materials than the hard stone that it became after. So here, absolutely not Phoenician or whatever, but more first civilization, Doggerland, Atlantis. You can now make your research on the true story. So you can see how it was built here, different stuff. It was built this by wood. There you can see the tool marks. They carved this out of the tree stump. Already you can see that it was built, and behind is a tree stump. Now very straight lines of cuts. Once again, I wanted to show you, to compare with this first civilization. I made this up, and you can see this is Petra, the first civilization in Israel or Palestine. You have it. Peru, those first builders, and it was really another material. This Nawabawaka was made with magnetism, and the material is very strange. Here you have Bolivia, here Peru, Cambodia you have. So the original material of the first builder is unknown, but we can speculate it was not this hard stone that is now Peru, and this stuff in Ethiopia that is believed to be a church. I don't think so. It was originally one. So that was just my point for now. But if we can get back to our pictures. Now you can see better what I was talking about. We're almost reaching the end of the video, guys. But you can see all the petrification of the place. Of it was wood. It's clear like water now. Look at the ancient tree stump here. And this is what they do. And the Phoenicians got inspired and carved the treasury like the ancients did. You can see here is untouched. Here was a deity, I think his head is took off. And the other structure of limestone, petrified wood, of they made blocks with them, the Phoenicians and Nabateans, and after was used in the Roman time. This is the old deity they found, so certainly not Nabatean, more likely to be maybe perhaps the Orim, who were Nephilims. Stupid ass guy, cannot even walk. Looks more like the camel than the camel looks like the camel, you know what I mean? No disrespect to the camels, it looks pretty cool. This guy doesn't. Let's not show the guy. No, you don't want to see that. Look, no. No. Okay. And you have this amazing stuff. I was kinda tired, but I was very happy to be here. I was surrounded by ancient trees and temples made by the first civilization here that was carving stuff around the world. So yeah, goats walking on petrified wood. Made to hunt. You can see the sheer scale of it. Fine example of wood grain structure carved. Probably this one is carved out of the tree stump itself. It looks like petrified, like the in Australia. Yeah, I just said for climbing, Petra must be amazing. One guy just came and tapped the dog. Crazy. So you can see now The Phoenicians carved this in remembrance to the first civilization and made up with their own fine art, but it is very different. That's the mountain, that's the guy who climbed it, and yeah, crazy shit, crazy stuff. You can see some guy climb, and this is treasure. So you can see the first cuts, the first temples was already there. This is petrification, and this was cut by the Titans who made up their first temple, and after was carved out by the Phoenicians, helping the Nabatean apparently. And it looks shot because some people thought it was cool to shot it, thinking gold would come, but nothing came. You see the bullet impact everywhere here, thinking you were golden. Stupid. So those stairs were probably made by later civilization. Phoenicians came there to carve with the stairs like this. I think they made the stairs, the Phoenicians, to climb up, or it was the Urim to seek refuge. But you can see the work of the Phoenicians here is astonishing. It's a good tribute to the first civilization. And what is underneath is just crazy. You can see in the part 1 of my Petra videos. So esoteric symbols, deities of Phoenicians, the great empire of Phoenician. The later Phoenicians even made Versailles. So at this point, history is really to be written down. I think I took the classic picture, whatever. I don't even care. And you have the sheer scale of those structures. Some Phoenician or later wall canonizations. The pavement were made by Julius Caesar apparently, because it was used. You can see in my past video, you see tunnels. You see the tunnels, and in my first video of Petra, I changed my narrative for this one, but my previous video are still interesting. So yeah, the huge tree that it was before the petrification that occurred. And I think that's the part 2 of my videos that we will see. I think that's the day after. You know, I think I cut the camera and this is the day after because I was there 2 days. So I think I'm closing this one. And what else can I show you? Not a lot. I think we seen the most of it. I think we did together a great job, and I wanted to thank you to watch this video as I finish it, and wish you a very good day, in fact. And thanks for watching. Share the video, share the love, um, and have a pleasant day, ladies and gentlemen. Let's grow this YouTube channel together. May may we? So thanks for watching. Bye.